going on? RGIJ is back, baby. Oh, I would have loved for them to talk to your mom. I would have loved to see what she would have said. What kind of person you were?
Yeah, it would have been like,
what
what is he doing now? Like, I honestly don't even know what he is doing. I haven't talked to him in like a couple months. Like, again, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like that, dude. I'm telling you, I'm like that with my mom, man. It's like, you know, mom's like, my mom. Honestly, this is funny. My mom is actually very scared of me because she doesn't know how to react, and so like, I'm like just not an enigma in a sense, but I'm just like quiet, or you know, I don't really say much. And so she's always like, I don't know what to say around you. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I just think you're, you know, I think you're just angry all the time and you're going to do stuff. I'm like, no, I'm just not. I'm just not going to put up with nobody's shit. Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to like destroy things. It's like, but I'm just not going to put up with your, like, nobody's bullshit. But in a sense of like, I'm chilling. Y'all say something crazy to me, I'll just walk away. Like, I'm not like.
Does she say, Iho, I love you? Has she ever expressed emotions to you?
She does, man. But like, so this is like what I was like, we're having a conversation with Marcus, right? So we're having a conversation, you know, with Marcus. Man, I was a mama's boy in a sense, man. It gave me a lot of issues going into the military. And then my first deployment to Iraq, man, she was like, I would call her and it would be like, it would be a tiresome conversation because she was always trying to like baby me over the phone when we're in Iraq. Like it got to a point where I was like, I gotta just get away from you. So ever since, you know, Iraq, right? So I'm in my 20s. I had to just get away from her. Like that was the only way I could, as a man, be a man, was to get away and not be a mama's boy and just be like, you know, like get away. And I just been like that ever since. I wouldn't call her no more. I had to stop calling her because it would be like, what's going on? What are you doing? I heard this. I heard that. And it's like, I don't need that bullshit. I don't need this right now. I need to be able to go to work, do this dumb shit, go work out, and then I'm gonna do this again because this is my life. Like I'm just doing the same thing. It's Groundhog Day in a sense.
Right.
We get attacked. We get these things. It is what it is here. I don't need to always be like. And I think there was one time where there was an attack going on, so you hear the alarms, so she's freaking out. And it's like, nope, can't call you no more. So I just stopped talking to her while I was in Iraq, and it's just been like that ever since. So we're not really close, but that's me because even when I came home. You know, I came home and she's like trying to baby me, and it's like, I'm a grown ass man. I have my own wife. I have my own family. I don't need you to do these things for me because I can literally, I've been on my own ever since I was 18 in a sense. Like I've been paying my own bills. I've been doing those things. I don't ask you for money. I'm my own man. And I've, like I said, I found that's really had been one where I've had to kind of like, sorry, man, that was the young, insecure kid. I am now a very confident and I know who I am as a man. And so we can't have this dynamic because that doesn't work.
It's crazy that you say that because there was a question that was proposed and I want to ask it to you to get your inputs on it. Just to segue from what you were just talking about now with your relationship with your mom and how the archetype of the toxic masculinity that Marcus talked about, the mama boy. The question that was presented was, what's the hardest struggle you've had in your life and how did you overcome it, or are you overcoming it?
Is there any kind of purpose, or is it just like in general over life?
No, just a general in life. What's the hardest struggle you had in your life and how did you overcome it, or are you still overcoming it?
Man, it was getting out of the military and being a fuck up. So it's like a two-parter in a sense because in the military, man, I had a great fucking career. As an E4, man, I wrote a QTP, man. I wrote a quality training plan for a section. Like, I was a very knowledgeable I was on my shit, had awards. Like, I was a golden boy in the military. And after I got in the military, I fucking failed. Like, you know, coming from a high career, man, you're doing great. Like, kind of like, why are you getting out? That type of, like, you could go far, you know, to being a fuck up. Man, like, that was the hardest thing because, you know, for me, I joined the military at 18. I'm a fuck up at 18, but everybody else was, so it's fine. Went to military, clean slate, had discipline, had order, and fucking just kept climbing, right? Like, I needed that in life. I needed a foot in my ass. I needed men to tell me, you're not getting away, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what worked for me. So being in the military was great, man. It did a lot for me. I'm in my mid-20s, about to be my late 20s, getting out, and I'm now a fuck up in life. Like, I'm drinking too much. Man, I'm like, I can't, like, I'm going to school, I'm failing school. Like, I'm not good at, like, you know, just a couple months ago, I was not this guy. And I'm in debt now. My wife's in Japan, my kids in Japan, and both my kids were in Japan, or my youngest wasn't born yet, but you know what I mean? So I'm away from that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing what I am supposed to do as a father. I'm fucking up in life. We're in debt again. I'm working at GNC. Like, you know what I mean? It comes from you're here and you're fucking down here. And again, we're wasting all this money on alcohol. So fuck, you know what I mean? That to me was the hardest thing to do in life, because the military was easy for me to succeed. It gave me what I needed to succeed, but never once did I ever fuck up so bad where I was at ground zero, knowing, you know what I mean? There's one thing to be a loser and for the rest of your life, because you never know what it's like to go up. But when you know what it's like to succeed and go up and be held in a high regard, and then now you're a complete and utter fuck up.
Right.
Fuck, man. Like that just fucks your mind up. And I mean, that's why even to this day, man, I told my therapist, man, I cannot go back to who that person was, man. That person was a fuck up. And I keep that as a reference of who I am as a person, because that's a point in life where it's like, don't do that again. Don't drink too much. Don't do, you know what I mean? Don't be selfish. Don't, like, be careful with your money. Like there's that point in my life where it'll always be like, we will never be this guy again on purpose. Right. So that's why everything you see now is a direct result of things I did to change who that person was. It took a lot of fucking time, because we're talking about 2014. I didn't get out of debt till like 2018, right? Went on my first vacation when I was 18, when I was in 2018. You know what I mean? That it takes a long time to get out of a hole. And that's what it did. It took me a long time to get the fuck out of the hole. It took me 2 years to even just get my mindset right of like, hey man, we're just going to try to get better. A couple years to get jobs, to get better, and then start getting a routine. And then getting my routine, reading books, and everything that I'm doing now is just what it was, because in 2014 I fucked up completely. In 2013, 14, and until 2016, I had to deal with all those ramifications for. Into 2016, started getting my shit together. Took 2 years to get my shit together to get out of debt. We're not even talking about to excel. We're talking about we're back at even. But by that time, because I had read books, I had read, since 2017, I had read 18 books in 2017, 20 books in 2018, 2019, I had read 21, I believe, and then 2020, we didn't read that many books, but we started looking at different things, right? And so you look at it, man, like where I'm at right now is only a direct reflection of being better than I was last year. But it started with being a complete and utter fucking failure in 2013 and 14.
Yeah, and it sucks sometimes that you have to, like I used to always tell people, sometimes you got to fall on your face to learn from it.
Yeah.
Even though people are telling you, you have your friends and family that are telling you, dude, stop it. Don't do that. Be smarter than that and everything else. And you think you're like, yeah, I got it. But then you go out and you still do the same fucking dumb shit that people are telling you not to do it. That's why for me, it was like, sometimes people have to learn the hard way, which is them falling and then getting back up and overcoming it. Just like with your story. I mean, for me, my biggest struggle was, the whole DUI incident, because that happened while I was military. It didn't happen before, and it happened at the end. It happened during. And that literally was like, I'm done. Like, there goes my career. I think at the time I was already maybe 6 years in, because 2006, like around maybe 8 years in, going almost 10, halfway there. And it was like, I'm fucked.
Right.
Like, this is it. They're going to kick me out. They're going to throw me out. There goes. And you know what is it? I was going to go back home to my family to be like, hey, why are you not in the Air Force no more? Because of fucking dumb fucking decision that I made to say, hey, let me get in my car and fucking drink and drive. You know? So for me, that I took it just like how you took the negative and spin it to where it's positive. For me, I told myself, if anybody else that has an incident where it's bad for them or they're not doing well, don't turn your back on them.
Yeah.
Because I had very, very few people that still stuck by me to fucking make sure that they helped me along the way and kept me in to where I was now able to retire. But if it wasn't for those minimal loyal, leaders and friends to still stick with you and help you through it, who knows where the fuck I would have been after that? Because they all easily could have just turned their back. And you see that all the time. You and I have talked about how you could be the fucking airman of the year every fucking year, but that one little mistake, that one little fucking fuck up that you have, there's a target on your back all the way through. And for me, I was just hurt, but I told myself, man, once we get over this, from here on out, wherever you at, help those who need it.
Yeah.
If somebody makes a mistake, don't turn your back on them. Continue to be there for them, because it's a hard process. You know, you got people, there was high ranked people yelling at me, telling me I was a fuck up. You know, why the fuck you did this? Why you did that? You could have been killing people, or whatever the case would be. I think at one point the chief wanted to take my driver's license. He was like, I don't want you on the road where my kids drive on.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, you know, but I mean, and it was, I was tested with it too, because in Oklahoma, I had one of my troops got in a similar incident. And again, I was like, no, Israel, don't turn your back, because this person needs you. This person needs you to be there for them, not only as the supervisor, but as their friend. You know what I'm saying? This person needs somebody to be there with them and help them get through this, because if not, this person's going to break.
Yeah.
You know, because again, I easily, you know, even the commanders and everybody were like, oh, that person did. It fucked up. Then they fucked up. Let's just get him out of here. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, if they want to choose to remove this person from the military, that's their decision. But until that time happens, I'm going to ride or die with this person all the way through.
Yeah.
And now that person's doing great. That person's at 17, 18 years, you know, and hopefully will be retiring on their way out and continue to make rank and everything else. But that's one thing I learned from that struggle, was like, don't turn your back from them. Continue to be there for everybody as much as you can. Even now that I'm out, I still try to be there for people no matter what, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think you know, for me on that one, man, like, you know, we're talking about 2014. We're not even 10 years in, right? And every year we saw a little bit better. So that's why I kind of like, when people are like, hey, I'm having a hard time, it's like, man, like 8 years, right? So if you look at 2014 and you look at 8 years later, about to drop a clothing line, which is coming out in a couple of weeks, you know, and then at 7 years, bought my first investment property. At 6 years, got my first house, right? So it's like you start seeing improvements. And then at 6 years, got a good job, like had a job that was like, you know, over 50K, around 60, 70K. Yeah. And then a couple months later, I got another appointment that was close to 6 figures for doing stuff, man. You start seeing these things, man. It's like life at that moment sucks. But so you see the end result, and you're like, dude, that's like, man, like 8 years is kind of a good time to kind of come forward, and you went faster. But what you don't see is year one. Fuck, we're just trying to stop drinking, right? It started with just like, let's stop drinking. Let's stop hanging out with these people. Year 2, let's start reading a book about healing ourselves. Year 3, let's just try to get a decent job and try to not be like, just start hammering down on debt. And, you know, like year 4, let's doing that. And then you start looking at it, like, oh, we're out of debt. Oh, we can save money. Oh, we save money for a new house. Oh, we have enough money for an investment property. Oh, now we're about to have another side of the business, right? We have all these things. And then, okay, what does next year bring? The shit I got planned for next year is another increase, right? And so it's that kind of thing where, you know, once you're going through things, and that's the hard part, is we look at it right now and you're looking around, you're like, dude, I'm in a deep hole. And it's like, yes, you are. But the goal is not to be in a deep hole, or the goal is tomorrow to be a little bit higher up. Not even that much. Right. Can you just climb just 1 inch? Cool. And if you do that day after day, you're going to find out after year 1, you're halfway. Okay, cool. Right. You know what I mean? Because that's what the hardest part is for a lot of people, is they don't see progress. Or they don't spend enough time to look around and be like, dude, I made progress. Like, you know, that's why I tell my wife sometimes, like, I was telling her this actually, you know, so I had that procedure. And so what I was really happy about that procedure was I was down for 10 days, but I was going to be in a sauna, and I was going to be like, I was going to meditate, and I was going to make sure I was grateful. Right. Cause I have a big problem about being grateful, because, you know, like the house I have, it's amazing. I'm so happy for this house we have. It's amazing. But all I could keep thinking about was the next house in 10 years or in 15 years, 3 houses from now. I'm looking at the $1 million house saying that's what I want. And because I'm doing that, I'm looking at the house I have now, and I'm not grateful for where I'm at. And that's a big problem. So I was able to take that time to sit there and say, you know what, I got, you know what I mean? I got bone spurs, I got arthritis in my knees, but I can still run. You know, it's that little shit that you need to take time to in life, and sit there and say, like, hey man, I woke up today, man, like, dude, I woke up in a house, man, I fucking own this bitch, man. That's 3 years ago, that was not the option. That was the goal. Now we're past that. You know what I mean? So what I found is, like, for people, man, if you're having a hard time, you've probably made a lot of progress. You just haven't personally been look at it and just look at how far and kind of celebrate the small shit, man. Sometimes you gotta sit there and say, you know what, I have a drinking problem, but today I didn't have a drink. Or even if you have to go down to is like, you know what, I wanted to drink so bad. I said no the first time. Second time I said yes, I couldn't help it, but I said yes. I said no one time. I'm doing better. And I think if you can do that, man, you start doing those small little steps, put your head down and keep going up. You'll look up and be like I am now, like, fuck, dude. There was a point in 2014, right? 8 years ago, I was a complete and utter fuck up, over 30K in debt, making $500 fucking a month with a family of, you know what I mean, with a wife, 2 kids, supporting my mom and helping my mother-in-law and supporting my mother-in-law, right? On $500. And we're drinking on a credit card because we don't even have the money in our debit card to keep drinking. Like that's bad, right? Yeah. And you look at it now, we're in stocks, we have investment properties, we're having businesses. You and I are talking about the next phase of this podcast, where we're going in life and those type of things. And it's really easy to like put your head down and keep working. And then you look up and be like, wow, I wasn't focused on the, like, where I was at every day. I just was focused on just like being obsessed with being better. Now we're up and now we're unrecognizable where we're at. The person who fucked up in 2014 and the person I am today, I couldn't be the man I am without that person in 2014.
Correct.
Right. I need that foundation, because that's that, you know, I needed that fuck up to sit there and say, okay, we don't do that. And that's when it comes down to drinking. It's like, you know, for me personally, that's why I say for me personally, I don't drink. Why? Well, there's some things that we've learned that's, and they say the person that fucked up in 2014, these are the traits they had. Okay. We just don't, we drink maybe 1 or 2 beers. We're having fun and that's it. It's only for fun. It's never for life is hard. We're here to relax. It's for you and I are having a good time. Let's have a drink. Cool. Right. No big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, the commonality and all of that is, you know, it's up to the individual to find the willpower and the strength to make those changes. Right. And like you said, you definitely have to be grateful. That's why I tell people I may not be rich, but I am rich. Because I got a roof over my head. I'm able to put food on the table. I'm able to get up and go to school. I'm able to pay my bills. I'm able to, you know, live comfortably and everything else. For me, that's rich. Right. I'm rich in that sense. I don't need millions of dollars, because even these millionaires are not happy with their lives, you know. But it's definitely that's kind of a hard aspect to realize, you know, even the little things bring happiness. Because like you said, you're like, I wake up, instead of waking up and realizing, man, I'm grateful for this house and everything else. It's like people just tend to be like, okay, let me just look past this and see what else I can do and so on and so forth. But be happy with what you got. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My Honda's a 2012. I'm happy because I don't have no more car payments. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people are like, why don't you get a new car? And I'm like, for what, man? My Honda still runs perfectly. Yeah. As long as I maintain and everything else, that car will last me forever. But again, I don't have car payments. That's the little thing. You think I want to be having another car payment, paying $500, $600 a month? Hell no, man. Especially when the car works and it's still in good shape, because I take care of it, you know? So, but yeah, man, I definitely agree. It's, you know, people have to take it upon themselves to want to make those changes. And like you said, sometimes take that day to just sit back and look what progress you made, because that even motivates you more. It's just like working out, right? At the beginning, we all weren't built or anything like that. We were some, you know, frail and puny at times. But then as we start working out, staying consistent with it, putting the work in, dedicate ourselves, slowly you'll start seeing the progress. You start seeing the improvements on your bench. You start seeing the improvements on your curls. You start seeing the improvement on your squats and deadlifts and so on and so forth. That all comes with time. You just got to be patient with it and whatnot. Yeah. But I do want to give recognition. I know we've been posting it on there on social media. So we had 1,000 views, which hopefully is going to continue to go up, which I'm excited about. And again, to the fans, thank you guys. I know we even had some comments that will show up on some of our episodes, which I'm grateful for as well, for the people to show their love and show us that they're continuing to listen to us, continue to support us. And there's definitely going to be, you know, more things coming, more guests coming and everything else. We're going to try to keep broadening our podcast and opening it up more to people to share their story, their narrative and whatnot. And just be on the lookout for the RGIJ podcast to continue to rise. And again, I love the feedback that I get, even if it's from my friends or other people. Like I told you, the physical therapy office I go to, they're listening to it now. They're showing me love on that, which I'm happy about. I got friends that are calling me, laughing on some of the episodes or giving me their feedback on some of the episodes and everything. So again, it's tremendous how far we've come, where we're taking it, what we're trying to do with it, and everything else. And big up to the guests that came on the podcast earlier to show their love. Nick, Marcus, Heather, Heidi, to show their story and share their experiences. And I mean, that for me was a treat, man. You know, just to see, you know, these four normal people living everyday life the way we're living it, you know, how they transition from sacrificing and serving their country to the struggles that they dealt with in the civilian world, and just uplifting how they overcame it, you know, and facing the adversity. I mean, shit, just picking up and moving to Los Angeles, you know, so many people wouldn't even take that chance because they'd just be too scared, you know, and these two girls just said, fuck it, let's just do it. You know, Nick from the bottom where he had the ideations, you know, just things roaming through his head and the struggles where he was unemployed and everything. And now look where he's at, you know, in a nice house and doing what he's doing to continue to better himself. Marcus with one eye, you know, going to school with one eye, man, because his left eye got messed up and everything else. You know, unfortunately, he had to get out of the military because of his impairments with medical and everything else. But look where he's at now. Yeah. You know, paying it forward, helping couples, helping relationships. Him and his wife doing the YouTube channel and everything to, you know, help people, you know, better their relationships and be, you know, the togetherness and everything else. And it's awesome. What did you think of the guest, man? That was pretty cool.
Man, I would say this, man. It's the reason why I was like, hey, man, thank you so much, man. Like, I'm really, from the bottom of my heart, thankful is because, man, the idea that anybody wants to fucking listen to what the fuck I have to say. And the reason why I say that, like, that aggressive is no PhD, no, like, circuit talk, no writing a book. Just a guy who was like, you know what? I don't like the way some things are portrayed about veterans, and I want to do something about it. And I'm going to start a podcast. What do you know about a podcast? Absolutely fucking nothing. And you start researching. Right. That's why the first episodes on the podcast were on legit on the Skype, because that's the only way I knew how to do it for free. And I didn't have enough money. I was doing real estate. And I was just starting my real estate. I had no paycheck. So that was what I was doing. And, you know, when it was like, hey, we're doing this, don't know. You know, I've learned a lot since then, you know, going to editing videos, editing audio, having to do feedback and read, like, all these different terms for that, and actually going through the audio and cleaning it up. And man, it's different, right? So that's number one, man. Like, I'm shocked anybody wants to listen to half the shit I have to say. Like, there's nothing I'm saying to me that's like anything different than if you go and look to Tony Robbins, like any of these anybody who's motivational. I'm just listening, like just literally just saying what they say. That's all I'm really saying, because I've listened to all of it so much. So like, why people want to listen to me, I don't fucking know. But it is like, it's one of the ones where it's kind of shaped my point of view, where I'm like, hey man, for the rest of my life, my goal at this moment is to help veterans any way I fucking can. We have some things coming down the pipeline that will further help other veterans, but as of right now, we can tell the story, and hopefully, you know what I mean? And I know this sounds kind of sad, but man, one of the things that I'm working towards, that I'm trying to help out with, is that we go from 22 today to 20 fucking 1. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do, is make a little bit of an impact and make a little bit of difference. And if somehow, some way, somebody, as we're talking, feels like they're back in, you know, and they makes them feel that much, a little bit better for that day, because we still fucking miss it. And then if they can feel a little bit better, great. If there's somebody who's thinking about doing something, but you hear a story from whoever, we have it, because we have just a plethora of veterans who are coming through the thing that have it. And you can figure out that you too can get your shit together and keep moving forward, be this for your family, be this and that. Man, all I'm trying to do is just be that ripple within the world to make this better place. I'm not trying to be Gandhi or Martin Luther King or, you know, anything like that. I'm literally trying to be like MJ's dad. I'm just trying to like facilitate the person who could do the greatest thing in the world. It's not me. I just want to help people, give people the boost. You know, and I'm truly shocked, and I'm glad like that we were able to talk, because we're starting almost a smaller network of veterans, of putting other veterans on, helping those veterans out, man, doing this, doing that. You know, Marcus created his own YouTube channel called Enough Said. check it out.
Yep.
You know,
Check it out.
first thing he said was like, "Hey man, we would like to have y'all on too as well." We're like, fuck, of course we're down. You know,
Yeah.
Heather and Heidi say, "Hey, we're doing this one. Can y'all do this for us?" Bet, man, let's go. We'll put you on. Why? It's because we're all the same. We're all veterans. We all have a story, and so we can all win. And I think that's what's the most important part. And I think that's what. And actually, like I've told you this before, man. The feedback I've gotten from people is like, dude, I think you got something special here. And the reason why I think it is special is because you and I don't take a paycheck from this one. You and I are not sitting there saying, "Hey, you want to be on the show? $50, guest fee." You know, what I mean, we're not doing that shit. We're kind of just like, "What do you want to do, man? Full, oh, you're a friend, cool, fuck it, man. Come on."
Yeah,
you
let's put them on.
Right? You know, if you're someone who's like, "Hey, I want to talk to y'all guys," come on, man. You know, hit us up. Why? Because we're not here to do anything. All we're here to do is sit there and say, you know what? A, we miss a service. B, we all have something in common. And 3, we could help we have no idea what story could help somebody else out. So we're just going to put them all on in that sense. And, you know, and more importantly, the last part that's the most fun is you and I, who are friends from before this, get a fuck off and just talk, right?
Yeah.
That's you and I having a conversation.
Yeah. Yep. For real. And like I said, that there's going to be more of that coming. We definitely got some guests that we definitely going to be putting on to highlight more of their experiences and everything. And, you know, hopefully it just attracts more people to come on and just listen to what we're saying, listen to their stories. But like you said, if their stories or our stories could help somebody else to bring it back in, then we succeeded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't need money to be rich. This is rich enough for us to be able to share our stories, our words, and for people to listen and take advice from it, recommendations, whatever. But again, to the fan base that we have, thank you for, continue to write comments on the chat, on the episodes that you see. If you want to share something, share it. We'll definitely acknowledge you back on there. And we'd love to hear from each and every one of you. We can, but yeah, just be on the lookout for more stuff to come from the RGIJ podcast. So this is Israel Big signing off.
Don't do that no more. Don't ever do that. I can't. Ain't that weird? Because, man, I'm gonna go back to this one and I'm gonna end it on this one. And this is why. If a guy saw you, it's that's why it's weird. Like that, I don't get that part, man. I understand.
Michael,
no,
Eho, you just had to be there.
No, I don't want to be there.
Now, look, what I'm going to do now is when we log off of this, I'm going to think of a porn name for you. And I'm going to come and you're going to use it.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to put it for you and you're going to have it.
It's Mike.
And it's going to be even weirder because it's me and you talking and not a group of friends.
No.
Females, just me and you.
No, like, hey, first of all, I would never do porn. I'm married. I'm not doing that. 2,
I said I'm going to give you a porn name.
No.
I didn't say for you to do porn.
Okay, but what I'm saying is no. The answer is no. I'm not accepting it. I'm going to tell you the answer is no. So there's that.
You're going to take it?
I'm not.
Whether you like it or not.
I'm not. I'm not. I would delete you away from my life if I have to be away from that.
Don't make me call Nori.
You can call Nori all you want. But because Nori would be like, why are you, first of all, why?
I'll be like, yo, Nori, go up to Lubbock and give him this piece of paper with his name on it.
He wouldn't do it. He'd be like, no, that's dumb. Like Nori would be like, that's dumb. I'm not. He probably wouldn't even answer your phone, actually, honestly. He probably wouldn't respond for another 3 more weeks. No one, Nori.
It's real big signing off.
No, it's
baby.
not,
Let's
dude.
go.
No, it's not. It's not, because I'm telling you, man, like, that's weird. What, like, dude, I'm telling you, it's like they call you Little John because you're not Little John. If they call you Big John, it's because you're not Big John. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's. I didn't want to call that on air because it's making fun of you. I don't want you to feel bad about yourself. I mean, but
not at all.
But it's normally that's how it goes. So why? I don't know why he would use that word big. It's like why do you use that word? Why do you even know to use that word?
He's the one who shared it with the group.
I know.
We were just coming up with names.
That's what I'm saying. Did you share something with him? Did y'all two share a moment together where he was like, hey, I feel comfortable? It was right
there on the spot. We would just look. We would say, okay, your name is this. Let's see what could fit with that.
I feel like, yeah, it's just
so
not
like
how
Mike. Your name is Mike Mendez. So now, come on. I already got one for you.
No,
I'm gonna share it to you.
If I have to block you for the rest of my life.
How you gonna stop me? How you gonna stop me?
I'll just change the link.
Leave studio?
I'll just be by myself next time, being like, Izzy's not here. We'll keep going.
You're not gonna allow me to enter the studio?
I'll just be like, he just didn't show up. He refuses to show up right now. He quit, I guess, apparently for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, no, because this is also too. The word Don Izzy is goofy enough as it is, so please don't use another word. It's goofy. I'm sorry. The Don, get out of here.
The Don.
You're not
Where the
even-
Don comes from?
You're not even Italian.
Damn. You know how many people said that I could pass for Italian?
Because you scream like you have that voice. Like you have that you have the voice. Like you kind
I
of
have an Italian voice.
yeah. You have like it's so much emotional out of it. Like how you
Shit,
feel.
look at this paisan
Yeah.
over here.
Well, especially like how you laugh. You're like that. Like when you're laughing like that, it always makes me laugh every time I hear you laugh. Like you're trying to catch air. So that's it. Trust me. Seriously, I promise you, people are making fun of your laugh every day, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't.
It's okay.
No, yeah, don't worry about it. It's
No,
fine.
Not at all.
It's fine. Your brother makes fun of you. He told me all the time. He makes fun of you all the time.
All
That's
the
great.
time.
All the time. It's fine.
All the time.
No, but hey,
Just throw
it's
crayons at him
man, I'll
all
tell you
the
this.
time.
We'll go off on this one, man. It's been a pleasure, man. Really, like, and that's why I wanted you to come on, dude. Like I'll tell you that. Man, you have this rare ability, and that's why I've told you plenty of times, man. You want to do this on your own,
Right.
like separately. You want to like create things, man. You have it, man. You have a personality. And I'm glad that I was like, hey, you know what? Let me ask a friend that I know I would feel comfortable that I could be who I really am, right? Because a lot of times by myself, I'm kind of like serious and that. And you and I literally have had goofy conversations about some of the dumbest shit in the world. But at the same time frame, that's what represents the military, man. Like there's so many times where you were just talking shop. And that was the best part. It's not because it was you got knowledge. You weren't like taking a pen and being like, dude, that's a good gem you have right there. It was like, it's fucking stupid. Great. We're having a good time, man. We're just being people. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm really hoping this represents to a lot of people, where they can sit down and be like, dude, I found it funny. But more importantly, man, for the moment, I was able to feel like I was back in wherever we were at. And we were just sitting down and bullshitting with each other. That's all I was. There was no political stuff. There was no money. There was no this and that. It was just friends sitting down, bullshitting, talking serious, and at the same time ragging on each other. But it was always love. And more importantly, man, it was just a good time. So that's what I really hope everyone gets out of this one. Man, glad that everyone listening. I don't know why people want to like view it, listen to it or anything like that, but I'm glad people are. And like you said, we got big things coming. And more importantly, man, like, you know, the mission's still the same. The intent is still the same. And it has nothing to do with Izzy and I getting famous or being that stuff, which I don't even know if you can be famous on internet, like really, like unless you're pulling in billions of views. But at the same time frame, I'm glad that we can sit there and just sit there and say, hey man, we have this on. And when people can talk to us, and what I like about this as well, there's hours of us communicating where we're saying the same thing. So we have just consistency of saying that, hey man, we're all about veterans. And that's all I'm about.
Correct.
Like for real estate, for business, for my stuff that I got coming down the pipeline, it's just for veterans only. And the reason for that is like, why not? Why not take care of our own?
Yeah.
Fuck. Like most of
I agree, man.
the best people I know are veterans, man. The best moms, the best husbands, the best fathers, the best, wives. They're all the military people I know. So it's like, let's tell their stories. Even if it comes down to what a binder was like and how that changed lives. Personally for you, that was your highlight of your career, was a binder. So it should be told.
The binder did save lives, though.
Yeah, it was.
If
I've seen you.
If you didn't execute
I've
that
never seen you
binder,
get a binder.
shit was all fucked up.
Yeah.
And the last thing you needed was your general chewing your ass up because you didn't run the binder.
I literally asked Izzy a question one time, and I was like, "Hey, what's gonna happen here?" He had literally flipped to the next page and be like, "That's gonna happen. Okay, this is what will happen now. This is what we can do now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's pretty scary because
it's a plan of action, man.
yeah." But it was a paper, and you couldn't memorize it. You had to be like, "Okay, I can now stand up and go."
It wasn't about memorization. It was ensuring that you closed off you crossed the T's, dotted your I's. You never want to go off memorization. That's the worst thing you could do.
Oh my goodness!
When you miss that one important phone call, everything fucked up.
Oh my goodness! I'm telling you. Yeah, sure. Okay. Well,
now let me turn the page.
Yeah.
Now that I told you that, let me turn the page.
Okay. Now
so
I can now it's the end of the conversation.
Until I get to the step where it says confirm checklist complete. Then we're good to go.
Then you can put up the binder and be like, I'm glad. Thank you. No.
Until
all right, man.
next time.
Until next time, brother.
Hijo.
All right.
All right, bro.
Later.
Later.